Welcome to another edition of Cookie Jar FX. I am your host, Eric Foreman, and we are here doing our midweek highlight and checking in on our trades and activity. And yeah, we're in week number 4 at this moment, closing out for the month of August 2020, just to kind of give some hindsight and some backbone. So if you guys remember from my Saturday trade and setups and activity, I was in euro dollar. We was pretty set and straight on that. I had a position for a short from my entry last week Friday. So it was on this candlestick here. We had a nice little setup topping tail, pretty much kind of confirming the short, which I had entered. But of course, me being the way I am and still working through my nonsense, I need to I position further shorts, like another point 15 position with no confirmed follow through, and then we got the pullback, kind of dragging and consolidating in this area now, and now I'm just in the midst of anticipating still a short once we cross over, or once the AMA crosses over this daily 20. Um, so currently I have roughly about point 30 playing, particularly in this move. So far from our highlight reel, just kind of looking at the stats. First trade is up about 22 pips. Second trade is up about 47 pips. That would be up here. Um, Third trade is negative 33 pips. Fourth trade is down 33 pips as well. So one, I'm still in the trade, right? So obviously we're on the 4 hour now. But when we look at this 4 hour, we have retested this 4 hour three times, starting out for this week. So we pulled up, came immediately back down, which initiated the idea that we were going short after this bounce, or after this rejection. But it didn't follow through. It pushed. Well, it followed through on the candlestick that after I entered, but it didn't continue downward. So I got dragged in a move, uh, pushed back up into the 50 MA again. Uh, Finished off with some wicks, some topping tails, and then price started to work his way back down again earlier today. And then out of nowhere, roughly at about 10 o'clock or so, we get a reversal bar. And now we pulled back into the 50 again for the third time. And it's roughly about a hour, not an hour, 166 minutes left on this candlestick. So that's roughly about 2.5 hours left. So that'll give us close to midnight when this candlestick will close on a 4 hour. Now, if we close out with a topping tail at this 50, then I'll definitely be looking forward to waking up with a great profit in this particular trade. The thing that I'm looking forward to tomorrow, which is why I think they may have dragged the move out, is because the Fed Reserve Chairman uh, Powell is speaking tomorrow. I believe at 10 o'clock or so. It usually is roughly at about 10 when he speaks. But he's talking about the monetary changes. 9:10 is his scheduled time. Um, the monetary changes going into pretty much, I guess, next year and the rest of this year. Any interest rates that may be changed, just like the whole plan and strategies behind it, as to what's going to potentially happen with the U.S. dollar, I guess, and just the economy in itself. So I think that's the reason why they're dragging the move out. Whatever he says, I am anticipating a huge move to the downside. That would be ideal. Based off of how we're set up and how we're structured and how we're looking, I'm still in 100% faith in this move for a nice little short. Uh, and then we'll kind of take it out and ride it out from there. So that's where I am with euro dollar. I haven't changed much since Sunday, other than adding those two additional positions, which I should not have done. But again, my issue is learning how to not be greedy, and learning how to just let the move play out with the position size that I was supposed to be playing it with, right? I'm not supposed to be trading point 30 with a $685 balance. But I think my psychology is telling me to get back to break even, get back to break even, get back into the green. So I'm trying to play that way. And it may pay off, but at the same time, that's not my trading strategy or plan. And I'm tired in the move now where I'm dealing with a negative free margin again, not much, but it's an issue. It's a weekly issue. So going into next month, definitely gonna have to make some changes and address some issues a lot more and really sharpen my tools and really get to this work properly the way I anticipated. So that's that. The only other change was me closing out the pound Aussie trade. I haven't even checked it since getting out. But remember, we was looking at this weekly cone trade, uh, at least to the move to the weekly 20, but it's still somewhat consolidating here. And I'm kind of glad that I did get out because it has not really been moving on much activity. So yeah, it's dead in the waters, and I felt it. So I was like, I'm just gonna get out of this. It's just a waste of my time. It's not even worth my money and my equity. So I closed the trade. So that's that on euro dollar and pound Aussie. We also had pound dollar for a potential short, and that's been dragging out as well, as you can see. We had the railroad tracks. We had follow through after the railroad tracks, but then Monday, Tuesday, I mean Tuesday. Yeah, this is Thursday right here. So Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Um, so we had to follow through the early part of the week, but then we pulled back. We haven't broke this high here um, from this like last week's activity, but it may still be a potential break. It may not. But again, they is being a nice little drag of the move. But again, pound dollars may push up. It may not. I have it for a short based off of the bear 180 that we had received, the double bear 180 that we had received with follow through. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm expecting big activity with dollar, any U.S. dollar pairs, um, because they just been purposely dragging a move out, and it's been highly, highly unnecessary. The other trade that we had on call was Euro Aussie for a potential long. So we'll see if that played out or is playing out. And right now it's not. So glad we did not get into that trade. Remember, um, I was saying it's at the 8, it's just consolidating. It may potentially shoot up. Um, but I personally wouldn't get into it because of all of that consolidation mess. It was one of my lowest picks. Price still sitting at the top. So right now we're not sitting at the top anymore. Atop the weekly 8, we kind of broke price down, and we broke below the daily 50. So there's some retrospect that needs to be reviewed. So personally, right now I wouldn't be bothering with this trade. It's kind of stuck in place. It's not worth it. Euro yen potentially for a short, and this is still dragging as well. We may end up going short now going into tomorrow based off of this setup. We got the break of the 20, nice little pullback, fell new high on the daily, um, and we got confirmation. And then now, if this candlestick confirms just kind of following through, we'll see a nice little breakdown in price, potentially starting to work its way down to the 50 in May. So still might be a good trade. We'll follow up on it on Friday when we look back and review the charts. I still have it as a short. I still like it as a short, even with the pullback. The pullback just gave an even better opportunity for entry. So for me personally, I would take this trade still as a short. And I might like it a lot better now than I did early in the week. So that's my take on that. Next was Aussie CAD. And Aussie CAD we have for a potential short. It's still running up against this weekly 200. And again, anything pertaining just in regards to correlated pairs, US dollar and CAD are correlated pairs. So usually whatever happens to US dollar, usually what happened to dollar CAD. So kind of anticipate the same thing. Um, so I think in regards to Aussie CAD, we pulled up into this 20 now as a nice pullback. So I would kind of anticipate this as a gift play, where we get that 3 bar pullback right into the MA and then start breaking price down based off of still this weekly confirmation here running up against the 200. So yeah, I still like this as a short. It was one of my most favorite trades to trade. I mean, as a short, and I probably like it even better now as well. Um, and then looking at the weekly, just kind of seeing where we are with that. We're a little bit under the 70 weekly RSI level, but that's based off of the pullback that we had, and obviously the move opening up for the week. So yeah, I still will account Aussie CAD as a short, and then Aussie New Zealand we had as a potential short, and Daily Bear 180. Yep, right off to the RSIs. Yeah, so this one followed through. Um, and I think I said the target can at least be down to this area, resistance area, but it ended up breaking the 20, which was even better. So we got the bear 180, price pulled up a little bit, faked it, and then just dropped. So the pullback was a re-entry opportunity of at least down to the 20, so for a nice little cone trade. Target may still start pushing downward. It may not. The 20 is kind of where I would have probably cashed out. Just personally, my own insight. Just because, yeah, I'm just not looking to fight it further. But it may potentially still go down at least to this resistance, or I mean to this support level, and may bounce up from there. Uh, but again, if it was a good opportunity, if like as the move pulled up on Monday and Tuesday, for an even better entry opportunity. So respect and honor the Bear 180s because they usually do follow through, for the most part, even if it takes time. Big topping tails, big elephant bars, they do work out the way they need to. Sometimes you have to give it adequate time for it to work. In addition to that, anything that pulls into those areas, what we consider buy zones or sell zones, they kind of work all uh, into that mess. So all of this, like for example, with euro dollar, although it's pulling back slightly, but not really, it's still in this sell zone area as a topping tail from the weekly. So we are still on for a sell. My bias doesn't change unless I get something that breaks way above the high or some crazy setup, which I'm not anticipating. So that's that. And again, once this 8 crosses the 20 on euro dollar, I should be smooth selling, and we'll probably get a pretty sizable bar from that, from just my own experience that I've known, when you get big crossovers from an MA level. So that's the analysis. That's the perspective. Definitely, again, just another hard, challenging week. Trading is not like, especially the markets now, particularly in forex, because everything going on with like digital currencies. There's some things happening that's in the mix, that's in play, going into later this year and next year. But um, yeah, like things are changing. So the way the market used to be, or was, or whatever, however you want to look at it, is definitely not the same. So you just have to be mindful of that. I've been mindful of that. Some trades you just have to be more patient on, because they might not play out the way they need to. Um, you might get crazy spikes in like a random direction, and then it goes into your favor. This isn't really new stuff, but I think it happens a lot more frequently now. So nothing or any move is guaranteed, but for the most part, you just trade the way you trade, and kind of go from there. But again, my objective and my goal is still the same. I still see it as a solid strategy and plan where I will be finishing this month off at minimum bare break even, uh, or back fully in a green. So We'll see if we could get there. Uh, it's already Thursday, pretty much, in regards to trading calendar. So we'll kind of see what happens in the early part of the morning after Fed Chairman Powell speaks. I'll be up nice and early to see and probably watch if I can, while also watching my charts. I'll just kind of see what we're going to be rolling into going into the day. So I'm expecting some big moves. Pay attention to the charts and just go from there. Trade safely, trade smart. But definitely hit that subscribe button as usual. Um, Continue to follow. Hit that like button. Continue to support. Just for the algorithms and just kind of increasing traffic and popularity. Just showing some love to a brother that's just doing something out of love. And definitely, yeah, share it. Share it with a friend, share it with a family member, share it with somebody that you know that might be trading already. Just kind of give them some insight, some perspective. Maybe look at some pairs that they didn't look at already. But yeah, definitely happy trading. Keep you guys posted. Looking forward to seeing how we finish the week off on Friday. Uh, and for me, as I told you guys on Sunday, that's the end of the month for me. I know Monday is actually the end of the month of August, but I will not be counting that because to me it's a brand new week as well. So I really don't even want to be in a trade come Monday. I really just want to kind of stay clear until September starts back up, and then we go from there. We review the account history and activities from there on. But thank you for joining. Thank you for supporting. And I will catch you guys on Friday. Have a good one.